Recording in progress.
Thank you all for joining us here today for this meeting of the City of Fortuna City Council. If you'll silence your electronic devices, we'll say our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. Can we get a roll call?
Councilmember Conley?
Present.
Councilmember Diaz?
Here.
Councilmember Stevens?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Trent?
Here.
Mayor Johnson?
Here. Thank you. So our first item is oral comments from the public for any item not on the agenda tonight. If you'd like to make comment on anything that is not on this agenda, this is the time to do it. Seeing none, we'll close oral comments from the public. So we come to our consent calendar, which has 7 items. The meeting minutes from October 20th special meeting, a report of disbursements, authorization to file a subdivision final tract map and accept the dedications, authorize city manager to execute an amendment to the existing franchise agreement, authorize the city manager to execute a contract for professional services agreement with CSG Consulting, approve the First Amendment to a promissory note secured by deed of trust for the City of Fortuna and Deborah Chisholm at 320 Main Street, and approve senior administrative assistant city clerk candidate pay step placement. Would anybody like to pull anything?
F.
Okay, and I just have a comment regarding the E. So, anybody else? Well, would you?
Just on that, it seems like this was a date that she knew was approaching, and then we're giving her till April. If she doesn't sell property by April, is there going to be any consequences on that?
So if she doesn't pay by April, then, I mean, we would have to pursue the foreclosure process and start going through that whole process if she defaults on the loan. But she seems to think she'll be able to come through by then, or if not, even earlier.
Okay, I just knowing that it's not the easiest thing to just sell property, right? You know, so, and again, this is a date that she had 5 years to prepare for, so I feel that it's delinquent already. So I just want to know that there's something in April that we'll have to pursue.
Did she provide a reason on why she wasn't able to meet the balloon payment deadline?
Just that she's been working on rehabbing those properties and selling them, and it just hasn't happened yet. That was the only reason given.
That's the only question I had. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, and for E, I just wanted to ask that the 22,890, that is from solid waste funding?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Johnson. That is from the solid waste funds, and those funds are received as a result of folks self-hauling to the transfer station, and those fees can only be used for solid waste activities. And so the use of those funds for the CSG contract to help us complete the Recology franchise agreement, that is a rather lengthy 15 to 20-year agreement, is a prudent use of those funds.
Thank you. So we have no impact to the general fund.
Correct.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the consent calendar. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you. So we come now to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor Johnson and council members. On October 22nd, we had a revenue generation ad hoc meeting where we briefly spoke about transient occupancy tax also known as the bed tax, and potentially increasing that tax as part of the revenue generation options. That conversation will need to include the Humboldt Lodging Alliance to see if they would even be supportive of increasing the transient occupancy tax. And so that conversation will take place at some point in the future. On the evening of Wednesday, October 22nd, I was a panelist for Mary Jelinas on constructive conversations, and I was able to share my perspective on what I have learned over my career on how to create constructive conversations with the public, staff, and my peers. And one way to create constructive conversations with city staff and the public is through interviewing them candidly. And that's exactly what we're doing with the strategic and general plan updates. So hopefully in December, I will have a report to your council on the city staff's feedback that will inform the strategic plan. And we've already got some great strategic plan items that are surfacing to the top. And so that's fabulous. And I look forward to sharing that with you. I also attended the Fortuna Kiwanis Women in Business Luncheon. I participated in Senior Administrative Assistant Deputy City Clerk interviews, and you approved the advanced step for the successful candidate on your consent calendar this evening, so I very much appreciate that. I met with the FPEA during one of their meetings to answer their questions on what's happening in the city of Fortuna, and so I answered as many of those questions as I possibly could. I also met with the State Coastal Conservancy and the Wiyot Tribe, and due to the federal government shutdown, the State Coastal Conservancy is waiting on a grant agreement from Fish and Wildlife that will provide the funds to purchase the River Rock property. So we're in a holding pattern, but that park purchase is still in progress. I also met with HWMA and our consultant Kathleen Gallagher to discuss where Fortuna Organics will go. Organics recycling is part of the SB 1383 requirements. And so organics will include things like apple cores and chicken bones, and we'll have to figure out where that is going to go. For the other local jurisdictions, they will take their organics recycling to HWMA, and so I will bring more to your city council on that topic in the future, whether we join HWMA so they can process our organics recycling, or whether we just pay the residential rate and not become a member of HWMA, but that's coming in the future to your council. And then on October 27th, I had the opportunity to participate in the County of Humboldt's efforts to develop tourism in our county. The county contracted with J-Ray, that's a strategic communications company, and they shared insights about the perceptions, challenges, and opportunities related to tourism in our area. And then I had a chance to discuss and offer feedback on shared interests, assets, and representation across the county and the cities, so make sure everybody has some equal say. I've also continued work on a permanent mobile home rent stabilization ordinance, and I'm hoping to bring back a matrix to your council in the near future, because we're going to need some input on the actual process that is outlined in the ordinance and how you want to approach it. Cities across the state approach it slightly differently, and so I'll need your feedback on that before I bring you a very permanent rent stabilization ordinance. That concludes my staff report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Anyone have a question?
How is our transient occupancy tax rate compared to like Arcata and Eureka?
We're all the same.
Same?
So we're at 10%, and then HLA has a 2% addition on top, so it's a total of 12%.
So if we did increase it, it would be more than Arcata and Eureka?
Correct.
Okay.
No other questions? Okay, well, we will keep council reports, starting with Councilmember Conley.
Thank you. I have no committee reports, but just cooler weather, gets darker quicker, so drive safe. Make sure that you're aware of your surroundings. It's harder to see with the rain and the dark and the windshield, so just make sure you're being safe driving around town.
Okay, Councilmember Diaz.
I have nothing to report.
Councilmember Stevens.
I did go to a REDEC meeting. I volunteered to serve on their loan approval committee. That's kind of been interesting at our meeting. We also had a presentation from the, I gotta look it up again because I keep forgetting, the Redwood Region Rise. They invest in regional economic resilience through Catalyst Project awardees or awards. It was kind of interesting. I mean, they're investing in, sectors that they think, the region needs. And it's presumably the Redwood region. I did have one concern. It seemed like a lot of the awards that they had talked about were focused in Lake County. So one thing that, that I will be kind of keeping an eye on is hoping to see that Humboldt County also gets awards. But besides that, I don't have anything else to report.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Trent.
I went to a ribbon cutting at Asia's Best for they've got a brand-new deli in there and ice cream. It's a beautiful store. If you haven't been in there, it's down on the Safeway Mall. And they have a full deli there of Asian food that's very good. They had samples of it and everything, so I just thought I would let everybody know, go try it. It's nice. And that's all I have to report.
Okay, well, I have a HCOG meeting coming up on November 20th. So that will be after our next council meeting. And the schedule's out for the Transportation, Communication, and Public Works Policy Committees that I serve on for Cal Cities. And the first one's coming up on June 22nd. And if you're still in public safety, I think yours is June 23rd. So, but that's all I have to report. So if there's nothing else
I make a
coming up-
motion to adjourn.
Future agenda items?
Oh, future agenda items, that's right.
Oh, you
I
skipped
always
it.
forget that
Ah.
one. So no future agenda items. So we will entertain a motion to
I
adjourn.
Still make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.